I'm starting.
I'm gonna do my work on that.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Izzy, and welcome to this week's show. I got a great show lined up for you guys. I got a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking a little bit about X-Men baddies. We'll be talking about some Deadpool stuff, some X-Men 97, and I do have a guest with us. Now, our guest, we've been trying to get him for a while. So, but we finally got him, and it's time to welcome him in to the party. So
Welcome to the party, pal.
my man TJ, what's going on, my man?
What is going on? We got a great show with a so-so co-host.
Oh, please, a so-so co-host. Dude, it was a tough, man. What, this is like our third try? So third time's the charm?
Right. But that's okay. That's okay.
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So let's just get into the chat right now. Let's go talk and say hi to all the fellas and the ladies that are in the chat. And we'll start off with who else? Las Cruces at 10 a.m. 10:16 a.m. to be precise. Las Cruces comes in with the good morning, gives us a hooray and a woohoo. Right? And then fellow Rat Pack member Comic Verse is in the house, as well as I'm just chilling like a villain. All right. But then Las Cruces came back with a hello from New Mexico, because you got to make sure you know he's from New Mexico. Also, we got Ryan Riley. What's up? What's up? And what it be like? What it be like, man? TJ, what's it be like?
It'd be like, I don't know. It's Monday, so I'm just getting used to not being stressed out. It's Monday.
I feel you. All right, we got Larry Green Machine, 2 claps, and a Ric Flair. Woo!
Woo!
There you go. Gotta throw in the Ric Flair. Woo! All right, Scotty Vaughn, let's go. We're gonna kick things off, and of course, Las Cruces we're still looking for Josh. We gotta find Josh.
What?
Hashtag he's still missing, guys. Josh is still missing. We will eventually find him. I promise you that. But Rad Arts and Comics member for 4 months. You know, we got to give Rad some love for this one. So let's give him some love for this one. And let's see here. There you go. That was for you.
Oh, goodness.
Hashtag LFG. We got Joseph, the Adventurous Joe, Evening Rat Packers. And don't forget to slap that like button. Like, like it owes you money. All right. And look, somebody's omnipresent. Look at that. Woo. All right. With a look at that. With a thumbs up. Also, we got Frog Brawler in the house. What's up, Frog Brawler? Wellborn is like, he's watching. Wellborn's watching. All right. And we got some emoji here. We got the rats. There you go. The rats are in the house. There they are. but also the frogs. We gotta include the frogs in the house. All right. Collecting with Dirts looks like a couple of certified pimps and a legend to me. And then we got some rat pizza. We got some rat love. All right, we went through it. So I just want to let everybody know we got a packed show. We're gonna, again, like I said, we're gonna be talking about some X-Men. We're gonna be talking about some Deadpool. We're gonna talk about Free Comic Book Day this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. And we, of course, we'll talk about our new comics and everything else in between. But you know, Flash, I know you're a wrestling fan. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right? So we got to take a moment to talk a little bit about some wrestling too, right? But before we talk about wrestling, I gotta let the world know that something really cool happened this week in the wrestling community, right?
Uh-huh.
And let me show you what I'm talking about.
Oh my God! What the? Oh my God! What the?
Down goes Tony. Down
That's
goes Tony.
TKO has a totally
TKO.
new meaning now.
Poor Tony. Poor Tony.
It feels
He's at the draft with a neck brace on.
yo,
He is out here selling.
see, this is the kind of stuff I love about wrestling. This is the stuff I love about wrestling. The goofiness of it all. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because we talked about it on the show with over at Papa Willie's show on Thursday, and I said how I like this because this is one of those situations where you know what? It gets eyes on the product. That's
Right.
how I look at it, right? It gets eyes on the product. And just like that, DVH, who, morning. Well, morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't even know what time of day it is over there, but
It's probably about midnight, maybe.
it's late at night. I know it's late.
Yeah.
He's at late. This is late night with DVH. So this
DVH after dark.
yeah, DVH after dark. So this whole thing with Tony Khan getting beaten up and all that stuff. Look at 23:37. We don't know that time. Well, you got that time, TJ. You got the military time, right?
11:37. Yeah.
11:37. It was like it's English. He needs to get back on top. What's better way? Yeah. And you know what? DVH, in case you missed it.
Mild Gino. Oh my God! What the? Mild Gino. Oh! Wow, Mild Gino. Mild Gino. Oh my God! What the?
I could play that all day. You know what I mean? I can play that all.
You know what though? You know what? It came from out of nowhere.
Mm.
But I'll give him this because I did not trust the one move I don't trust is the power driver.
But they kept it really safe.
Yeah, but I like the safest power driver I've ever seen. It was like unbelievably safe. Was Kane tombstoning Linda McMahon that time, and Linda's head was like a full foot above the rail. Like you knew.
Yeah.
6-year-old knew Linda didn't touch anything, but outside of that, that move is just too close for me. I cringe at everybody taking one.
You know who's notorious for that? For messing up that move? Owen. Owen used to do terrible. Like when he would do that move, people got hurt. Stone Cold got hurt because of Owen.
Yeah.
Tony Khan doing the Eric Bischoff thing. It's what? It's not just the Eric Bischoff thing. That was like McMahon, Austin. This is the same scenario. Literally the same scenario.
So the only difference, and this is what I want to know what's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna get in there and get buff and get physical a whole lot. I do want him to get his eventually. Eventually, I want him to at least put a hand on Jack Perry eventually. But like Vince was big enough to get in there and square up. He wasn't great at it, and he couldn't sail a stunner. But
simple power driver. Yeah, but it was the way Owen would do the power driver. It was dangerous because he actually jumped. Most people when they do a power driver, they do it mostly like a tombstone where they get down to their knees, so it's just not really a hard hit. But still, you have to know how to do the power driver.
And some people I feel like tilt themselves sideways or backwards upon impact to kind of make extra sure that your head doesn't hit straight on.
What's up, Comic Embrace, my man?
That's just a thing with men wrestling is every power driver I see, power drivers, destroyers, tombstones. I'm scared every time I see one.
Yeah,
but they're professionals. They know what they're doing.
So we think, right?
so we think.
All right, let's get talking about some new trending books. All right, you ready for some trending books?
Gotcha.
Let's do this. All right, we got some trending books this week. Again, there's a lot of Deadpool, a lot of X-Men. It's not that much of anything else, really. This week is one of those weeks. But before we even go to the first one, Couple Comics is in the house. My man Will, he has his show later tonight, so go check that out.
One thing before we get too far, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Shout out to Tony. Because when we did try to link up last time, Tony saved my bacon. So shout out to Tony.
Shout out to Tony Khan. I know you're talking about.
Shout out to that Tony too. All the Tony.
Yeah, comic verse. Shout out to Tony right there. I know you talking about. Anyway, so our first book in this list is what we call dumb spec, right? And it's not like they're not all dumb spec, to tell you the truth, but this is what I call dumb spec. This is Avengers, the Terminatrix, whatever the hell they want to call it. Objective, right? This book. What's up, Steve White's in the house? This is one of those books. First of all, it is an awesome holofoil cover. So this is 90s peak comics, right? We got a price tag right now about $15. All right, fine, whatever. Probably get it a lot cheaper than that. This was definitely a dollar bin book at one time.
Right.
And it's the first appearance of Alioth. Now, the Alioth is that monster we see at the end of time or whatever that we've seen in Loki. He's returning for Deadpool. So we're going to see him, and therefore we have this here. But we also have a first appearance of a couple of Kangs as well, which I find interesting about this. So
no, you have to read the Kang's names out loud. I
gotta say it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna butcher these. I'm gonna let you know right now.
No, I think they're more simple than you think. But go ahead and say them.
So I'm gonna, but we're talking about me here. Okay, I'm notorious for butchering names. Okay.
Okay.
So the first appearance of Kang Swash. So a Kang watch. I guess that is a swatch. Kang
there
swatch?
You go. That's what I'm aiming for.
Okay, that's what we're going for, right? Oh, they really are watches. A Kang Rolex. Kang Rolex and the Kang Casio.
It's so if we're depending on the dialect we use, that could be Kang Rolex. I think all three of these are Kang watch names.
Well, that's what it says. It's the members of the Council of the Cross Time Kangs. So it is a Kang Swatch, a Kang Rolex, and a Kang Casio.
I think they intentionally named all three after watches.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Now I want the book even more.
Look, see? Now that what is it? 450% increase is about to be 451%. Look at
you know, and it really is it, man. It's a Kang Casio. Are we missing a watch here? Is there a watch missing? What's up, Brian?
What's I forget the name of. I forget the name of that. There's a really popular like mid-price watch that I can't think of the name of, but I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. There's only one thing I gotta say about that.
What the hell is even that?
Like, we're seriously. I don't know what's going on there with these watches. We got some Kang watches. It's amazing.
Now, if Marvel was, I don't know. I say if Marvel was smart, I don't know how much like this kind of licensing can cost.
Brian,
but I would love to see these
Kang
three watches.
Wait, Kang Citizen Watch,
Citizen Kang.
Citizen Kang.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
Marvel missed out.
Vicus. So I got Mark. He's going through the Rolodexes of this room.
There you go.
All right, so we got that going on this week. So don't forget to get your Kang watch.
There you go.
Our next book. I went backwards. Let me fix this. I hit the button too fast. All right, our next book is actually a pretty cool book, and I'm happy you're here for this one. And that is Voltron #1. This is a book this is the first appearance of Voltron in U.S. comics. So this is not the first Voltron comic book. Ooh.
That's
When you
my
were,
guy.
let me.
That's my guy.
Wait, we got show that again. Ooh.
I mean, it's a 3-part series. I'm that I know most people who know me know I'm a Transformers guy, but right after Transformers in my 80s cartoon fandom is Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
I'm saying you shocked me. I wasn't expecting that one to be the book.
That's the book. Shout out to, he was Wink Inc. Now he's Exec Collects, but
Yeah,
that's who sold me the first one. The other two I kind of picked up along the way in different sales, but he sold me issue number 1.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's my guy. From the moment
we got a new Kang. It's Belova Kang.
Belova Kang.
He's fancy. And Voltron is a boss.
Like from the moment Optimus Prime does the intro for the Voltron episode, I'm hooked.
Yeah. So here's my question for you.
Okay.
All right. Obviously, the Lions are the most famous versions of Voltron.
Yes.
Do you like the other versions of Voltron?
I know of the vehicle Voltron, and I watched it, but the lines were always like far and above my number 1.
Mm-hmm. And they were.
I don't know if there's any others. Was that?
No, there's actually multiples. So they were considered the third version, the Lions. So the second version was the cars, which was like 20 cars or something like that. But in the United States, we got the Lions first.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so we got the Lions first, and then they brought in the cars, and then they try to do a mashup between it and all that stuff. There's a really cool channel that I like to watch that does a lot of history on this stuff, and that's called Secret Galaxy. So go check them out. Secret Galaxy is awesome for all this stuff. So
is that a channel or is that a YouTube channel?
It's a YouTube channel. It's called Secret Galaxies. Go check it out. It's awesome. You know, I recommend it to everyone. It's a lot of history on, you know, just different. It started out with toys, but then they moved up to different things that are happening. So we got Billy Power Max in the house. Hail. All right. And then, of course, look, Voltron is awesome. Of course, Voltron's awesome. All right. And Tony's going to Target this week. It's good to know. Make sure you get the milk, eggs. I always get my eggs in Target. So
he's the second or third person I've seen either say something about Voltron in Target. I need to go check out Target. I think there's something going on that I haven't been privy to yet.
There you go. And DVH, yes, thank you. It's Secret Galaxy, so don't look up galaxies. It's galaxies, like just one galaxy. So go check it out. It's really awesome. All right, our next book in the list is going back to our Deadpool spec, and that we have here is Wolverine 66. This is the first Old Man Logan story, which also features Old Man Hawkeye. And what's interesting enough about this book is that obviously this is what a lot of people took from Logan, and we're going to pretty much see that Logan storyline return in Deadpool, right? Deadpool Wolverine. But what's interesting enough here is that this one has Avengers characters. So I'm curious to see, because there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about Deadpool Wolverine, but I'm curious to see if they're going to go more towards that Old Man Logan storyline rather than what they did with Logan, right? Because Logan's kind of like perfection at his point. But in this case, I think it might be helpful to get me some good classic Old Man Logan's characters, which would be cool.
Yeah, I don't think they mess with Logan itself.
Yeah, I don't think they.
I don't think they do that. When the idea of Hugh Jackman coming back, when the idea of Hugh Jackman coming back first came around, they said whoever the mystical authority is kind of said that would stay intact.
Yeah,
I don't think they go and mess with that.
Aaron has it. The Hillbilly Hulks. That's what I want to see.
But will they be cannibals? Will they be?
Oh, even but this is a rated R movie.
That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
I want to see the Hillbilly Hulks. That's what I want to see. I'm
Like
done.
we may not ever get another shot at rated R. So go ahead and get it all out of your system.
You know what I'm saying?
I think if this does good, they'll change their mind about this being the one and only
Oh,
R-rated.
I think they already changed their mind.
Okay.
I think they've already gone that point, man. I don't think they're like, oh no, we'll do more, because now they're talking about Blade being rated R, because the original Blade is rated R, so why not this one? I'm sure with all the money that this one's planning to make, I'm sure we're gonna get more rated R stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Here's another book. Now this is truly a dollar bin book. Okay. First of all, this is Uncanny X-Men 428. This is from a run. So during this time, this is the same Grant Morrison run, but over at Uncanny X-Men, they had I know his last name is Austin, but it was the stories were bad. Really bad. It was just really bad. And this was one of those books where it was the origin of Nightcrawler, and it features the first appearance of Azazel. Now, Azazel, as you remember from X-Men First Class, is the red demon-like character, which many people assumed was Nightcrawler's dad, which makes more sense now that I think about it, right? So
Right.
it was introduced here in 2003. So they kind of did that whole thing. Before I even say anything, what's up, Trev, my man? Trev saying, what's up, DJ? All right. So here's a book that, as you can see, its current price tag is $3. You know what that means? That's cover price for this
Right.
book. That means this is a dollar bin book.
See it.
I do not see this book gaining any type of value.
I think if you see it for $1, if you see multiple copies for $1,
Mhm.
I wouldn't doubt that if Azazel is confirmed. I've seen the screenshot with him from kind of far away, but once you get a closer shot of him, it may pop up to $4 or $5 or whatever.
But he's
Maybe.
no longer his dad.
But it's
So,
still it's still the first appearance.
It's a first appearance, yeah.
The story doesn't track anymore, but it's
but like what Comic Embraces says, now Nightcrawler's dad is his mom. Talking about needing therapy. I'm just saying.
I mean, if there's any group where somebody needs therapy, it's them.
You know what I'm saying? It's like your mom is actually your dad, and you're like, okay.
She's like, I mutated a couple of my cells so that I can make myself pregnant somehow.
You know what? I don't have any real issues on the subject matter, because apparently this is where Chris Claremont actually wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So it's part of his original plan. So if it was if it was part of Chris Claremont's original plan, then you know what? Then I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? But but at the same time, we had this whole thing where we thought Mystique was his mom. Turns out Mystique's his dad. Oh well, moving on. All right. So what happens to Azrael? He's just out of the picture now. He's no longer. He's not even a deadbeat dad anymore.
Has he been? I wonder if he's been seen lately. I'm the most casual of casual X-Men people, so I couldn't tell you.
I believe it. I met Chris Claremont a few times. I could believe this. You know what I'm saying? Now I will say this much: this will be one hell of a good Maury Povich episode. The paternity test came back. You're not the dad.
Turns out you're telling the truth.
You're telling the truth. All right, let's go to our next book. Another book here that's again a Punisher issue number 9. Another $3 book. I'm actually shocked that this is a $3 book, to be honest with you. but it has been forever since we talked about this character, and this is the first appearance of the Russian, the mercenary from Punisher, who we did see in the original Punisher movie. He was played by none other than
That's
Kevin
the Kevin Nash
Nash.
character.
Kevin Nash. And you know what? With that being said, I gotta throw something out. Since we are talking about a character that was played by Kevin Nash, let's watch this.
But you know and I know that you're only half the man that I am. And I have half the brain that you do.
Before there was Steiner math, that was Sid math.
Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta love.
I wonder
what's going on, Daniel Carpenter.
what did he pause or anything after he dropped that line?
Nah, he just played with it, man. Sid was one of those guys. If he said it, it's over with. You know what I mean? It's like, and who's gonna argue with the guy? Look how big he was, man. He was one of my favorites, man.
Right.
Sid is go. It's like, what's up? So you remember that one bit that he was in? He was doing a promo, and in the promo, he's talking to Me Gene, and Me Gene's he's like, oh wait, I gotta do that again. And Me Gene's like, dude, we're live.
I think Mean Gene's done that to a couple of people. Like, well, we're live right now.
Yeah, she was like, oh, I love the brain.
I love Mean Gene.
I love Mean Gene. I love Sid. Sid was one of my favorite, man. He had one of the best power bombs, man.
Right.
Because when he did the power bomb, he was one of those guys that when he did a power bomb, you believed it hurt. You know what I mean?
And when they called him Psycho, you actually believed it too.
You believe his. I was at the Survivor Series where he won the title, and I was jumping for joy. Meanwhile, my sister was crying because Shawn Michaels lost. I was like, "Yep, let him find his smile now. See what happens." Okay, so now let's talk about this. How is this Spec right now? Well, it's Spec because it is rumor that the Russian is one of those characters that's in that lineup in Deadpool and Wolverine, where you see some characters there, where you see Letty Deathstrike, you see Aziel, and all these other characters. They do believe that the one that's in the far right-hand side is the Russian, which would make sense because he was part of a Punisher movie that is no longer in canon. So, this is $3 is so underrated, man. I'm shocked that it's a $3 book because personally, I love the Russian. I think the Russian was such a cool character. In the movie, they made him that he couldn't really talk, but in the comic books, he was hilarious. You know.
But if that's the Russian in the book, I mean, in the movie, does Thomas Jane ever actually become the Punisher?
There's so many secrets to this movie because they're saying there's a cameo on top of another one on top of another one. So if we get Thomas Jane's Punisher, I'm okay with that.
That was secretly Thomas Jane's Punisher is probably outside of Bernthal. Thomas Jane's is my favorite. I think
he looks like Punisher. He looks more like Punisher than John Bernthal. John Bernthal has the spirit of Punisher.
Yeah.
Right. But Thomas Jane to me looks like Punisher. You know what I mean? And then when this Tim Bradstreet would draw him moving forward, he was making him look like Thomas Jane because they're good friends.
Yeah. And he's kind of Thomas Jane to me was kind of a slide threat. Like Bernthal was more of a menace. You knew he was a menace.
But gotta be careful, man. We got Comics by the Bay in the house. Whatever you do, don't talk about hot dogs. Oh, Ray Stevens was another good Punisher, man.
Ray Stevens was good. That was. Can we say that they didn't miss with Punisher?
They were. You know what? I like all the versions of Punisher, and I like that Punisher, the Thomas Jane Punisher. Yeah. I really like that movie. You know?
And then he had a few one-liners that I really liked.
There was this cool scene to that movie, like when the Russian showed up was awesome. Then you had the scenes with the guy with the guitar. I can't remember what was that character. What was the name of the character with the guitar that he was singing the song to him, saying, "We're gonna kill you," and he was like, "Okay," and I'm gonna kill you. He kills him in the car. He had
Oh
that.
yeah, because it starts in the diner.
Yeah, they're in the
Okay.
diner. He just takes
Yeah,
out.
yeah. You
Singing
said
it.
you said guitar, and I went automatically from Punisher to Desperado.
Well, it was a very Desperado style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So good book, good book. I like this book. Personal, one of my personal favorites. Okay, our next character that is actually in the thumbnail that we need to talk about is a character by the name of Cassandra Nova. Um, a parasite from an astral plane who replicated the DNA of Charles Xavier while still in the utero. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on here with that. Okay, so New X-Men 114 is the first appearance of Cassandra Nova. Right? Cassandra Nova is the villain for Deadpool. Now, what's up, Kenneth Byrne? He's in the house. All right. Now, Cassandra Nova, I have this feeling, and this is based on a theory that somebody shared online, but I can't remember whom, so I'm not going to take the credit for it. But there is a theory that X-Men 97 and Deadpool are going to be linked. And it's going to be linked because of the way the storyline in X-Men 97 is rolling out. So we're going to talk about the main villain of X-Men 97. But what we had in the Mutant Massacre that happened in Genosha, that's not the same Mutant Massacre that was in the comic books. Rather, it was part of this storyline, which is the E for Extinction storyline.
Right.
In which there was they destroyed everybody in Genosha, right? So that whole thing happened in this storyline, right? But there is something else I need to point out from this comic book that changed a lot of things about X-Men.
Almost forgot.
Oh, am I going to war or a circus?
What'd you expect? Black leather?
Just saying. You know what I mean? So, such a stupid character. So you don't have to. Hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think Grant Morrison is just the loony bin guy, right? He's just whatever he thinks of is just nuts, right? So Cassandra Nova, which is technically Charles Xavier's twin sister, but while in the womb, Charles Xavier realized that she was evil. So he killed her. So he did an evil deed because he believed she was evil.
So he was as an embryo. Is that an embryo?
They were babies in the womb.
Something, yeah. So he was cognizant enough to A, know who she was, and B, know she was evil, and C, know to kill her with his powers before being born.
So he already knew right from wrong before they were born, and he knew she was too evil to stay alive.
But did he know about his powers once he was actually born?
Because he only killed her body.
Yeah.
Because she stood in the astral plane. That's where she stood. Right?
Okay.
So yeah, it's a mind trick. And to Comics Embrace, yes, it's gonna be Nimrod that trashed Genosha. So no, so it wasn't Nimrod. It was somebody else. It's definitely a Sentinel, which we're gonna get to in a second. But we gotta say what's up to Roscoe. What's going on, my man? Don't forget, hit that like. Heck yeah, Roscoe. All right. So this is one of those scenarios where you just gotta look at it and you know, you just got to say with this particular character.
What the hell is even that?
You know, when it comes to Cassandra, that's all I got to think about Cassandra. But
right.
I like her. You know, her and her little African suit. You know, her. You know what's it called? She's her in her Banana Republic outfit from South Africa.
Wait.
Yeah.
No.
She got her Banana Republic outfits. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you what.
Gear. That's what I was thinking.
I'll tell you what. X-Men X is for extra everything.
Extra everything. Yeah, extraordinary, right? All right, our next book here is the other villain that we want to talk about, and we got Canadian survivalists in the house. What's going on? She's she's on a mental safari. Ain't that the truth? Our next character here is we got Uncanny X-Men 333. This came out back in 1996, which features the first appearance of Bastion, a mutant hunting advanced sentinel. So, Bastion is a sentinel. However, he is an android as well. And that's who, right now, as we know, to be the villain behind this whole X-Men 97 storyline. So this is one of the first stories I know in the cartoons that they go outside of Chris Claremont from what I understand. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure if they did any other stories outside of Chris Claremont run. So this will be one of the first outside of Chris Claremont that I could think of. Not that I don't know.
I don't know the source of the Jubilee video game episode or episode. I don't know the source of that, but
the video game episode?
Yeah,
that was just having fun because it was the Mojo verse. So they were having fun with the whole X-Men video games that came out back in the day. So I think that was just a nod to the video game. So it was just a self-contained story rather than part of a comic book storyline, which I personally like because, of course, it's Jubilee.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cartoon. It's heavy, but you got to squeeze a little fun in there.
Yeah, it is meant for kids. It was originally meant for kids. A Saturday morning cartoon.
I don't know if it's meant for kids anymore. But I don't know. These kids know everything these days.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts about this villain Bastion?
So when I found out that that's who that was, immediately I had to look him up to see what's going on. And we have this mixture of Master Mold and Nimrod.
What's up, Dale?
That's what is that? The Siege Perilous, mix the two together and
Operation Zero Tolerance.
Operation Zero Tolerance, and he sounds like an interesting villain.
Somebody else where he's shaving Magneto.
that and the creepy music. I'm like, I'm like, well, usually villains are mustache twirling and they're telling their plan or whatever, but they don't usually come in and put on some put on music. But he's full, as Tony would say, full tail diva.
Oh yeah, right. He has this governor vibe from The Walking Dead. If you remember the governor when he was combing his daughter's hair and she's still a zombie.
All right, I'm going to hold an L real quick. I've never watched The Walking Dead.
That's okay. now you have Dirts that's gonna be losing his mind in a second. But that's okay. No worries. No worry about that.
So somebody did say a guy I saw on TikTok did say that if you want to take it this way, one of the very first scenes of X-Men 97 was this wide shot. The first time you see Master Mold, you see I guess in the intro you see Nimrod inside of Master Mold, and he's like, "They told you then." 10-4 that.
Yeah. Hashtag Purple People Eater.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, he is full tail. He's got flair. I don't know what he's after. I've heard Bo DeMont say that episode 5 was just like a Kickstarter, and 8 through 10, which I think is a 3-part finale,
which starts this week.
Yeah, 8 through 10 is supposed to be the real trouble. And I'm like, well, if 5 was just the tip of the iceberg, what are you planning on doing?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. This is gonna be crazy.
But he dropped a hint on Twitter or X Twitter or whatever. Yeah. I think he said that that you should go back before the episode this week. Go back and watch season 4, episodes 9 and 10. I think it's a 2-part story.
Yeah.
I guess that may feed into episode 8 or something you might need to know or whatever. So I might try to do that either tonight or tomorrow night.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move our way from X-Men and we're gonna move into Marvel Team Up issue 14. This is the guest appearance of Invincible in the Marvel Universe. this book has a very low print count with 26,000 copies, but the purpose why this book is in this list is because we did have the episode of Invincible where there was a character that was in it that resembled Spider-Man,
Yeah.
but it wasn't because they didn't have the guts to put him in the cartoon.
They didn't have the cojones. They
Yes,
probably
that was the term I was going to use, but I was like, I'm gonna be a nice church boy with that one.
Oh, okay. They didn't have the to quote a person's name who we will not mention. They didn't have the grapefruits.
Well, there's someone else, you know. There's someone else that we could think about because I feel the same way as this person.
Really, infinity.
It's like seriously, you couldn't just give us the episode.
Now I say there might be licensing issues.
Oh, it was exactly licensing,
but I think
it's Amazon money here.
And I think so. I don't know this about Invincible, but I think The Boys. And I'm just mixing the two because of Amazon, but I think The Boys is actually a Sony Pictures production. If Invincible also happens to be a Sony Pictures production, like there's relationships there to be crossed.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
there's
the
a
case,
lot
though.
of red tape that you had to do because to make it happen. And I think to be honest, Marvel's kind of pissed off at Kurtman. Yeah, they're not really happy about Kurtman because he likes to spoil things, you know.
Because of the Century thing.
That could be one thing. That's just I could be adding to the fire.
So that fire already existed.
I believe that fire already existed.
I don't know about Marvel, but I don't think if I'm what's Stephen Yu, is that his name?
Stephen Young, yeah.
Yeah, we can't be friends if you know I have something top secret going on, whether or not you like Marvel or not. I'm your friend. You're supposed to hold my secret. Don't let. Now, if you tell me you were drunk one day and said it, I might forgive you. But
Yeah,
don't just go.
But that's
Don't just
Steven's
go
fault.
don't
I'm
just.
sorry. You signed it. That's Steven's fault. I'm sorry. You signed the NDA
And you said something.
and you tell Kurtman. I'm just saying, an NDA. The purpose of an NDA is that you're not supposed to tell anybody, including your spouse. That's how an NDA works. So he goes up, tells Kurtman. So I guess Kurtman's more than his spouse.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, man. They have a breakup now. So, you know,
who gets the kids?
Who gets the kids, right? All right. Our next book here is just, you know what? It's just an awesome book, and that's Predator #1.
Yes.
Predator #1 had an increase of 218%. No real reason behind it at the moment. There's no word or no real discussion on what's going on in the Predator world. We had the Prey movie that came out about a year ago now. It's been, and there are discussion of making another one. So just a cool story. Just a cool comic. Predator in comics, which was like a no-brainer. And I remember at this time, Dark Horse was on fire with their properties, you know, with their licensing deals. And this was just one of those books.
So were they always heavy into licensing?
At that time, Dark Horse had the licenses to Predator. They had the license to Alien. They had the license to Star Wars, and those were like their big properties. So they did some really good books back then. So those are definitely books that, unfortunately, they're no longer in canon. Okay, and Adventurous Joe, he said The Boys is fully owned by Amazon. Interesting. All right.
Okay.
So this one's here, but it's just a cool book. $60 isn't too bad for the first appearance of Predator in a comic book. But I think you could probably still get it for a lower price at the moment. So go check that out. All right. Our next book here is all about Dave Stevens. So Dave Stevens still hot, but it's like every week it's like another book. And this is just one of those Cheval Noir #1, which is a cover art by Dave Stevens. This has increased, by 200%. You got a high of $100. This is the Not Safe for Your Kids book.
Are
Or
you
maybe
sure?
it is. It depends on how you look at it, right? Maybe not.
Depends on your
Not safe
kid.
for work, right? Not safe for work.
Not safe. We can go with that. Not safe for work. We
Not
can do
safe for work. That cover alone is like, look at where that hand is right now.
that.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It's like, oh. You know, but whew.
Skeletor to King Randor! Skeletor to King Randor! Come in, you royal boob!
Oh goodness, that's
He
hilarious.
mentioned something about royal boob.
That is hilarious. Who wrote that? Because that's a kid's cartoon. Who wrote?
Of course, you worthless hunk of fur! Books are the real treasures of the world!
See,
Who's the sorceress, you boob?
oh, shout out to Skeletor.
Shout out to Skeletor, man. Needs a job, man. He needs a job big time. All right. Yeah, it's a good book. Here's another book that's in the list here. And I think there's some X-Men spec that's going on that people are having ideas about, but they haven't fully embraced. So New Mutants 26, this came out back in 1985. This is the first appearance of Legion, the son of Professor X. So what we're going to start seeing in a couple of minutes are books that they're getting spec because of potential X-Men related stuff. This happens to be one of them, right? Legion is, of course, we had the Legion's the TV series with Dan Stevens. That was he did the Legion role, and this I love this cover by Bill Sienkiewicz. This is a book here that I think $20 is so undervalued for this book. I believe this book should be worth more. My personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know, so I do believe I have 2 copies of this book. So one is signed and the other one's not. But it's a classic book. Great Chris Claremont storyline. Great Bill Sienkiewicz art.
I was about to ask who's it signed by?
Bill Sienkiewicz.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I got a nice little signature by Bill Sienkiewicz. I remember back in the day, I was on a hunt for this book. When in before the Age of Apocalypse storyline came out. When I heard about Legion, because Legion's the reason for Age of Apocalypse, and as a result, he's responsible for the Age of Apocalypse because he was on a mission to go back in time to kill Magneto, but he ended up killing Xavier, and that's the story you were talking about in the X-Men cartoon, that they kind of redid it, but they didn't do it with Legion. I think moving forward, they probably will do it with Legion again, and that's how we'll get proper X-Men Apocalypse, because we didn't get Age of Apocalypse in the cartoons. We got some light Age of Apocalypse storyline, but we never got the true Age of Apocalypse storyline.
So he goes back and he commits Flashpoint before Flashpoint.
Yeah,
or he tries
pretty
to.
much. Yeah, so he's the original Flashpoint. So it's not that original, is it, Jeff Johns?
Oh, we stirred the pot.
Uh-oh.
We stirred the pot.
We stirred it, right? We stirred the pot right there. So our next book here is another book here, Incredible Hulk 449. This is the first team appearance of the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts, which is such a cool characters here. We got 3 Good Nerds. Finally, a book that I actually have in my collection. And we got Superman. Please start over. Dude, it's 55 minutes later, man. What do you think? You want to start over, TJ? Do you think we can do it?
Here goes one. You got to look the rest of them up. Here goes one. Okay, I gave you. That's a head start.
Let me see if somebody approves. Sorry, we can't start over. All right. So again, this is the first team appearance of the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is such a cool concept when it first came out, because it came out during the time of the Heroes Reborn series. So they were taking the place of the Avengers, but there was a secret behind it. They were all villains.
I would have loved to have been because I didn't start reading comics until around. I got the idea to start reading comics from Captain America: Winter Soldier, and I started around the time that Black Panther came out. I'm still fairly new. I would have loved to have been around and gotten
it was awesome.
swerved by a hero comic that's actually a bunch of villains.
It really was a surprise when it happened. So when they came out, I was like, oh, new team. They're taking over for the Avengers kind of thing. And they're all superheroes. And when they first came out, no one really noticed it, right? Because they're just new characters. But then after issue 1 of Thunderbolts, when it was revealed that they were villains, and it was Baron Zemo who was like the main Citizen V, you were just like, as reading it as a comic book, it was like, Kurt Busiek and Mark Batley did a great job in just keeping the secret, because you would get all our information afterwards from Wizard Comics. And back then that's how you got information. So it was a surprise. I'm surprised TJ's still allowing YouTube. But they round up all the famous trolls.
That's because I'm a troll, but I'm not that famous. I'm flying under the bridge. I'm still flying under the bridge.
Yep.
Now one thing is that I don't know if you could pull that off now with social media and everybody digging, and nowadays with the solicits like 3 months in advance. You'd have to run the risk of getting a reputation of lying to your customer now with the way social media works now.
Yeah.
But back then I would have loved to
awesome.
either be reading a book or watching a movie or something that completely swerved me.
Well, they could have tried something in the Marvel universe, right? Because that's one of the reasons why the Thunderbolts came out. Now, the Thunderbolts today are more like Marvel's answer to the Suicide Squad, but they're not. They were just villains that were posing as heroes.
Yeah.
So, and then they threw in Hawkeye into the mix and things like that. But at its true form, it was a cool comic book because, again, these villains were posing as heroes. And what was good about it is that some of them liked being heroes. So as each issue progressed, some of them were like, "Nah, I think we want to stay this way."
So did any of it? Because I don't know the villain set. Did any of them turn for good through the run?
There were. I don't remember. I think Songbird was one that just turned for good. I want to say Atlas, but it's been such a long time. Beckerman, if you're watching and you can let us know if you remember, because I'm sure Beckerman would know. But yes, there were some that actually turned and stood good.
Okay.
Now Zemo. So and I want to say that Meteorite, who was Moonstone, she didn't turn either. So there was some that stood, they stood as villains, but it was a cool storyline when it happened. It was good. Our next book here is X-Men 52. We talked about Bastion earlier. This is his first cameo appearance. This is The Agony of Memory. That's the title, with Bishop in his nice little haircut. When Bishop gets a haircut, even though I like my dreads, Bishop. I like Bishop with dreads. Another $3 book, man. We got some dollar bin books this week, man.
We can go diving.
We could go diving, man. Hopefully there's some people out there that don't really read the Key Collector app.
Well, it is Free Comic Book Day. You should be in your comic book store looking around and seeing what's what. And so you've picked up a couple of dollar bin books this afternoon.
What's up, Rich? I feel you, man. All right. Meteorite. Always stay. Yeah, I knew it was Meteorite that she stood back
while sleeping around.
Here's Rich. We got another one. What I miss? What did he miss? Okay.
There was a whole show.
You shut your mouth, fatty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips.
It's okay.
The final boss.
Yeah, Wolverine 88, the first battle between Wolverine and Deadpool. Obviously, this is gonna be classic Wolverine Deadpool action. You know it's awesome. You
Yeah,
know, looking forward to it.
that was been around for a while. Ever since the rumors of Wolverine showing up in Deadpool 3.
Exactly.
That was a mainstay almost.
Mhm. So we get. I hope we get this scene. It would be so awesome if we actually get this scene, like this cover scene with the sword, with him and the swords. That would be cool.
I feel like if anybody does it, if anybody demands that something will be in there, I think
What's up, Chris?
Ryan Reynolds would be kind of cognizant of that cover and try to sneak it in there.
Yeah, I remember buying that book. Yeah, I picked up this book off the shelf too when it first came out. But unfortunately, what I got was the direct edition. There's like so many different. There's like 3 different versions of this book. There's like a deluxe edition because there was a time that Marvel was doing the regular standard edition and then a deluxe edition, right?
Huh.
So this will be the deluxe newsstand edition. And what was different about the standard and the deluxe edition was that the paper quality was better on the deluxe. It's kind of like what DC does now with their cover A and their cardstock cover. That's the difference. So they did that. They were doing that back then with the deluxe. So I
So
remember-
even back in the 90s, Marvel is playing with the cover quality.
oh yeah, they were doing that all the time. All right, that was always a thing. Oh look, this was the first book that he won in the IG a year and a half ago. Wow,
Ah,
good book to win. Right?
yep.
I gave this book away. I gave a signed Adam Kubert book of this for Comics Curing Cancer. So I was happy because I have a copy already, so I'm not worried about that. Our next book here is X-Men 53. This is the first appearance of Onslaught, who is a combination of Charles Xavier and Magneto. $25 book. You could probably get this a lot cheaper than $25. I don't think this book is as expensive as they say it is.
Mhm.
But what's important to note is that this is a spec. This is what I would call a long-term spec. Because I think what's going to end up happening at the end of X-Men 97 is that we might eventually get Onslaught. But I don't think we're going to get Onslaught this season. I think maybe at the end of the season, like the cliffhanger to season 2, that's where we get Onslaught. And I think that, and people are specking ahead of time for that possibility.
Because Onslaught, at least in the comics, Onslaught comes around the time of Operation Zero Tolerance and
Exactly.
that whole thing, right?
Yeah, the whole traitor storyline that Bishop came back in time, and it was like a whole like 2 years for the traitor, who the traitor was, and everybody they were always pointing towards Gambit being
Mhm.
the traitor, but it turned out that the traitor was actually Xavier.
Ah.
Yeah.
So wait, so they tried to frame my boy in the first season of the first show, but they didn't want to go far enough with Xavier, and they pinned it on Mystique instead.
They pinned it on Mystique. So that whole story thread that's in the first season of X-Men, that story thread comes from this Onslaught storyline.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was a long time before they find. I think what ended up happening is that they weren't 100% sure who the traitor was going to be,
Right.
and then they finally made the decision and they pulled the trigger that the traitor was eventually Xavier. So it was one of the things X-Men always had was that there's this secret that no one knows about, and they don't talk about it for years, and then it comes back.
We don't talk about Bruno.
It's always like a prophecy. That's always been like an X-Men thing, right? The prophecy kind of thing. So this was one of them. And when it was revealed that Xavier was the actual traitor, and which this led to Heroes Reborn. So that's the whole thing. Yeah, it was a huge crossover. It was epic, and it was a way for the Image writers, the Image artists to return to Marvel. That was the whole concept behind getting it done, because you had Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld. This is where we get Cap Chest. You know what I'm talking about? Cap Chest, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This is where we end up getting, the version of Cap that only Skeletor has the ability to really tell us what he meant. You know what I'm saying?
It's the sorceress, you boob.
It's the captain, you boob.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that was about. So really cool stuff, really good storyline. Then we have here Hulk #1. This is the first cover appearance of the Red Hulk. However, he doesn't show up until issue 2. So this is one of those situations where we get a fire cover. Yeah, you ain't gonna see him until issue 2.
Yeah, and isn't issue? Well, I guess because he's on the cover,
Yeah.
issue 1 is worth more than issue 2, correct?
Yeah, but I think issue 2 should get some more love. It has
Yeah.
Iron Man in the cover, and it has Red Hulk, the reflection of Red Hulk on
Iron Man's. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is here for Thunderbolt Spec, so that's why, because we haven't confirmed yet that we're going to get Red Hulk, but all signs are pointing to it. So again, this is one of those books it's hot, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold. We won't know until we finally see Thunderbolts. So interesting pick. And
that Death of Abomination actually sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. I have a copy as well. Here's another book I have a copy of. X-Force #2. This is the second appearance of Deadpool. But it's the first appearance of Weapon X Garrison Kane. And no one talks about this being the first appearance of Garrison Kane. Everybody talks about this book being the first appearance of Deadpool. This is a $10 book, guys. You could probably find this in a dollar bin because there are a boatload of copies of this book.
I was gonna ask why didn't at least a little more expensive, but quantity probably does that to you.
Quantity does it. There's thousands upon thousands of copies of this book. This is not a hard book to find.
Big slow motion action sequence.
That's right.
Dogpool.
Dogpool, man. Oh, that book's gonna be hot too soon. Here's another book that's in the list. Amazing Spider-Man 361, a book that it is in my means to pick up a copy eventually. I have the second print, the silverback second print, and I missed out on this one when it came out. So this was one of those books that when it came out, it did the Ultimate Spider-Man thing, and it was sold out almost immediately. And then they did a second printing, and I was able to pick up the second printing. Unfortunately for me at that time, I didn't go to the shop in time to get this one, or else I would have had it.
Okay.
But $150. I think this book is dropping value because we don't plan on seeing Carnage again in a while, but Carnage is always a popular character. So this is one of those books at $150 right now. I think it's a low point for the book. However, it's one of those books that I don't think it'll ever really drop value because Carnage is extremely popular, and I do believe one day or another we will see him again. All right. Our next book here is one of our newer books. This is the Something's Killing the Children issue number 36. This is a thank you retailer appreciation variant. So this book, don't be fooled by that price tag of $4. That's not the price tag of the book. It is an appreciation book. So this is one of those books that retailers each received a copy of, right? Saying thank you. I will admit, it is an awesome, awesome cover.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of those covers that I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's how I feel seeing that cover. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So really cool book. Probably could find it for like $20 now, I think. So,
okay.
All right. And then here's the 1 in 50 Harley Quinn 39. This is the variant covered by Mindy Lee. This book, being that it's 1 in 50, their asking price of this book is $100 for this book. Okay, guys, here's the truth when it comes to variants. All right, I'm gonna speak some gospel here.
Okay, lay it on us.
Don't buy an incentive variant for overprice. Wait a year if necessary. I promise you, because there's no significance behind this book, this $100 price tag is going to drop. It's going to drop. It's proven time and time again that these hot covers don't outlast. People just go crazy buying them, and then after a year, the values diminish. So if you find this for $25, then you're in a good spot. But if you spend more, in my personal opinion, if you spend more than $50 on this book, you've been had, because it's gonna drop.
Agreed, 100%, sir.
Mm-hmm. So,
I am a religious waiter on ratio and exclusive books that I really like.
yeah,
Because I mean the ones you really like, you don't have to worry about them leaving your brain because
Mhm.
you'll always remember them. If it's a random Harley book, I don't collect Harley, so I'll probably never think of that. But let's say a Transformers ratio or a Moon Knight exclusive, 5 years from now, when I see it for much cheaper, I'll still remember when I saw it the first time and wanted it, and I'll pick it up when it's cheaper.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to be patient with some of these books. Like, there's books out there that their price tag goes up immediately, and what ends up happening with these books is that no one talks about them because they have no real value to them. They're just cool covers, right? This is the age of covers right now, that
Yeah.
people are buying based off covers. Now, if you really want to get a good book, pick up one of those iconic covers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those books have a tendency of holding their value more than even first appearance keys. So like an Incredible Hulk 316. Well, no, 316. I'm mixing them up. 340. 316 is Amazing Spider-Man,
Yes.
right? 340, which is Wolverine Hulk. That is an iconic cover. The book, it's not their first meeting between the two, right? But that book holds its value because people love that cover. So covers that are iconic, yes. Today's market, not worth it.
No. Like I said, unless it's a character that if it's a character you're really into, and you're really scared that won't come around again, then my answer is maybe at ratio price. I wouldn't go over ratio. I would maybe go at ratio if you really love that character and cover. But like I said, 95% of the time, I'll look at an overpriced book, and I'll wait a year or two, maybe 3. It'll come back around.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted personal experience.
Yeah.
I really wanted the David Mack set of the Moon Knight #1 from Jed McKay.
Yeah,
and that set was like maybe $50. I think $50-$60 for the set when it first came out. Toward the end of the Moon Knight run, I grabbed the set for like $20.
Yeah,
it's not a big thing, but
that's not bad. That's good. That's great. So, Corey, if we're referring to the website, we were just looking through. We were looking at Key Collector. So if you get the Key Collector app, they're just showing you what's hot and trending. But the purpose of this show, really, one of the purposes of talking about Spec is to talk about the importance of Spec and just really, is it worth buying or is it worth holding out? All Spec is worth what they are for that time, right? It's a matter of how important will they be later, right? The significance behind some of these books. And really, anything that's a variant that is a hot variant because of a cool cover, you could wait on that. You know what I mean? Unless you absolutely guarantee need that book, the truth is you don't need it. You know what I mean? The truth is that you want that book. And if you absolutely are willing to pay the money for it, then you buy. That's your choice. You make that decision, right? But I'm here to tell you that many of those books, about 90% of those books, they will drop in value. And in some cases, they'll drop 50% what that high value is. So it's worth the waiting game for many of these. If the variant has a first appearance key, for example, then we're talking a little differently. Then we're talking about you might have to consider how important that key really will be. But I'll take the example of Spider-Boy. Spider-Boy is not worth what they said it is anymore. But Spider-Boy is going to be one of those characters that's going to stick around for a while. So he will never drop to cover price anymore. But you could probably pick up some good Spider-Boy keys now. Relatively.
I was about to say the people that read Spider-Boy, they seem to actually like him. So like I say, it's not.
What's up, Chris?
He's not going to disappear off the map.
Yeah. So they got a place for him, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, you ready to talk about ready to look at the top 10 books this week?
What are the top 10 books?
Well, let's find out right now. That's right. Not one, but two Art Adams variants made the list this week. You see, I am an Art Adams. I'm a diehard Art Adams. He's my favorite artist. I will be showing something soon to you guys that I got from Art Adams. So I can't show it to you now, but I will show it to you soon. And you know what? Dazzler books. It could only mean one thing. Do you know what the Dazzler can mean? Do you know?
That she's a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Oh.
Taylor Swift Spec.
Now, what happens if Dazzler ever shows up and she is not Taylor Swift? Because I feel like we're all in on this idea of her being, and she might be. That there are certain coincidences that have happened that are either real or there are certain people who know what we're thinking and are playing with us on purpose.
Yeah,
But
right. They're trolling us on purpose, but I think there is some truth to it. I think at this point there has got to be some level of truth behind the whole Dazzler Taylor Swift. Maybe not so much Dazzler, but Taylor Swift. I do believe there is something. It's too much now. But to Larry's point, has anyone have a Dazzler #1 newsstand? Do you know the answer to that?
I do not.
The answer is no one has a Dazzler newsstand #1 because it doesn't exist. Dazzler #1 was a direct market comic book for the direct market, and they did not make any newsstand copies of it.
Did it drop around the time that newsstand still existed?
Yes, it did. But this was the time that the direct market was actually happening. Was the start of the direct market. So Dazzler was created for the direct market only, and there was no newsstand version of Dazzler #1.
Gotcha. So it was purposely. It's not like they were underprinted newsstand. They purposely didn't.
Yeah, they purposely did.
Gotcha.
So to answer that question, if someone tries to sell you a newsstand Dazzler, they are lying to you, and it's a straight up scam.
Scammers and liars.
Yeah. So there you have it. There's
your
information. All right. So before we start talking about free comic book day and the new comic books that are coming out, I just want to remind everybody a few things before we move on. First of all, I hope you guys have been enjoying the short box videos. I take a long time working on it. I actually start as early as Wednesday with the short box list, and this week we had a really cool short box list. I'm expecting this week's short box list to be thematic. I don't know off the top of my head if it will be, but I do believe that there is a very strong possibility that we're going to have a theme this week with the short box list. So this is the list that's curated by Shortbox. They give it to me, and I post them every Saturday for you guys. I usually post them at 6:00. So be on the lookout for that. We had a great list this week, and I'm so looking forward to this coming week. I'm looking forward to what that list is going to be. Also, right now as we speak, we got Scotty Vaughn 82 going on. He has Brian Silverback. We're all part of the Monday night lineup. Later, you have the Console Comics. You got Geek Out with Roscoe, 22 Comics, and couple comics. And if you guys stick around, today's giveaway is going to be a 10 comic mystery prize. We're going to be doing 10 comics. I'm going to do 10 comics mysteries in it. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have some good stuff here to give away for this show. Now, if you are a Rat Pack member, I gave you guys a special made challenge. Now, just to let everybody know a little bit about the Izzy's Rat Pack made challenge is that, first of all, there is going to be a massive giveaway. I'm going to give a giveaway in the Rat Pack challenge of certain items. They will know, if you are part of the Rat Pack, you're going to know what you have to do, what we have to do in order to get in order for us to release the grand prize. So there's going to be some comics. There's going to be some other fun stuff. They will most likely be a slab included as well in the Rat Pack. So this is for Rat Pack channel members, and you could be part of the Rat Pack. All you have to do is you can start it off with $1. $1. Do it. There's other levels to the Rat Pack, so you could become a member and be part of the Rat Pack challenge. It's fun. I have a goal in mind for this month, and I want to see if we could hit it. So that'll be cool. We could try to hit that. So that's happening there. But before we go on, Flash, tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods.
My neck of the woods is Transformers. I've started back up Transformers Thursday, where I basically go over, like 5-minute video. I go over an issue of Marvel's Transformers. This week is going to be issue number 24. And I think that's the issue right before the big confrontation between Prime and Megatron, where Megatron cheats and I get traumatized again.
So are you gonna go see the theatrical release on the 18th in May, where they're gonna do a theatrical release of the 3-episode series premiere?
I don't know if that is local to me.
Oh, you got to look it up. Check Fandango.
Let's see.
All right.
If it
In the
is
meantime,
local, I will try. Go ahead.
In the meantime,
I'm stuck. I can't transform. Oh, thanks.
Poor Jazz.
I know, right? I can't transform, man. I can't do it. All right. So I don't know if I made it to the duel tonight. Oh man, it would be so yeah, go crazy looking for a Dazzler. Good stuff. Thank you, Dale. Really pretty great videos. First direct market. You got it, Larry. It's definitely the first direct market. So while we're doing that, you ready to talk about new comics this week?
Yes.
Let's do the new comics and what's on our pull list. All right. First thing we're going to do before we start talking about the new comic books, we're going to talk about what's in the lineup for Free Comic Book Day. If you guys don't know anything about Free Comic Book Day, you're in for a treat. Free Comic Book Day happens on the first week of May. It's the first Saturday in May, and it's happening on the beautiful May the 4th be with you day. So we got comic books, we got Star Wars, all that good stuff. It's happening this weekend. I'm actually going to be going to Fan Expo Philly. So if you guys are in the Philly area and you want to go to Fan Expo, look me up, man, and maybe we could try something and stuff like that. We could do some filming. I will be doing some recording at the show, so I do have plans to record some stuff. So let's take a look at what's coming out this week with Free Comic Book Day. All right, starting with Marvel. Marvel has a couple of books that are coming out this week. The first free comic book day is going to be Blood Hunt X-Men #1. So you might want to check that out. And it's supposed to be from the Ashes. So it's supposed to be a tie-in to the new X-Men. So I believe what they're doing over at Marvel is that they're putting 2 stories into one comic book. So you have that. There's also going to be the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man #1. You might want to pick that one up because Ultimate Universe is extremely hot right now. So you want to pick up that Marvel Voices #1 as well as Star Wars Darth Vader #1. That's going to be over at Marvel. Marvel also has another one, which is Spidey and His Amazing Friends. That's another book that's there for kids. So the nice thing about Free Comic Book Day is that they make comic books not just for the children. They also make comics for adults. So there are some adult themes. And we're going to talk again about Blood Hunt a little bit later. But these are going to be the Marvel books. Over at DC, what DC does with Free Comic Book Day is that they kick off their big crossover event of the year. And their big crossover event of the year this year is going to be Absolute Power. So there's going to be 3 editions of this comic book. The free comic is Absolute Power #1. So that's going to be the standard comic book. That's going to be free for anybody. There's also going to be a blank, which I believe is $4.99. It's going to be $4.99 or $5.99. And they always throw in a foil version of the comic book, which is I think it's about $10. So those 2 are not free, but they are part of the whole Absolute Power. It's the same book, but if you want a blank, you pay $5 for the blank. If you want the foil, you pay $10 for the foil. I personally like the foil. It's a Dan Mora foil, so that's cool. And of course, you know me, I'm going to pick up a blank. So I will definitely pick up a blank. They also have Barba special #1, which is it's geared towards teens, I believe. But it's big Barda. So nice big Barda storyline. That's going to be cool. Also, this is one of the kids' book that they have, and that's Barkham Asylum. I'm not kidding when I say this. Barkham Asylum.
That's kind of great. I kind of like that. I kind of like
that. So now the Bat Hound is going to have his rogue gallery, apparently. And Mad Magazine is also going to have a free comic book day over at DC. All right. Then we have, I'm sure you're excited for this one, Energon Universe.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, but look who's in the cover of this book. It was a spoiler, but then it's been revealed. Everybody's seen it already, so it's no longer a spoiler. All right. So Energon Universe, we got Megatron making his return. Like actually making his return. We've seen glimpses of him, but he's now coming back. So Flash, I'm sure you're excited about that one.
Wait, do we know that?
Oh, he's coming back. There's no way we're not getting Megatron back.
Well, no. I know sometime sooner or later we will. I always took this, and I hadn't read solicits or anything, but I always kind of looked at that cover and thought prequel or backstory.
Take a look at that. Look at that. Christopher is confirming there's a massive first appearance inside. So this is going to be one of the hottest books from Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to beat somebody over the head for it. I see right now.
No, seriously, dude. Seriously, you're kidding me.
That's 100% possibility.
That is bull. That's what that is.
That is 100% a possibility.
Megatron is inside, but someone else would show up. Look at it. Look at Chris dropping in the little teasers for us. All right. So I think Agent, I don't think you're a new member because you were a new member before, but either way, we got to give you love, right? We definitely got to give you love. Yeah, and to Joe's point, don't be fooled by buying this book. Go on Saturday, go to your shop. That book better be there. If it's not there, then your shop is jipping you off, and you may want to consider that LCS.
Well, my shop owner has made it a point to make sure and ask me about Transformers and Energon Universe books when I don't, because if something that I just want an A cover, I usually don't order it from the store because I know they have a couple or whatever. But he makes sure he asks me, so he knows He knows
But
I'm an
even
Energon
so,
universe junkie.
even so, this is meant to be a free comic book.
Right.
So if you're on eBay, and this is the kind of stuff that pisses me off about this market sometimes, is that if you're on eBay and you're selling this book when the book hasn't been released, and what you're doing is you're holding out, because that's what they're doing. They're holding out, right? They're
Yeah.
holding out because this is intended to be free. It is
Yeah,
intended to be free. Yes,
and that-
I understand the shops. I will tell you something about the shops. The shops do pay for these books.
Yeah.
They do pay for these books. These books are not free to them, but they're meant to be given away. Now, some shop owners, they have the right to keep a couple of them, and I understand that. That's fine. It's their books, it's their prerogative. But at the same time, their intention was to be given away. And if you're holding out and you're trying to sell them now, that's grimy to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, Joffrey got his copy already, so yeah, I have my copy already too. So, but at the same time, it's not right to do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
No.
Here's another cool book. Johnny Quest is another book that's coming out this week. And what you see there is it's not the actual cover, but Maleficent also is having a cover on a book as well. And then the one that I'm really hyped for is I Lie Popeye. Yo, I saw that and I was like, oh, dude, I gotta get me the Popeye book.
So what is your limit usually on Free Comic Book Day?
What do you mean by my limit?
What your shop's limit? Well, you might have the insider track, but for random Joe Schmo in your shop, what's the limit?
So the limit is depending on how the shop runs. So every shop has their choice. Like there was probably limited one comic book per person, or you could get one of each. Some of them might say 5 comics. Like every shop has their limitations.
Right. Mine's is 5. I'm trying to gauge to see what your shop's is.
Well, you got to remember, I have multiple shops. I'm in New York City.
Well yeah, that's true. That's true too. Y'all was just on every corner.
But one of the things I know that most shops, and I can't think of other shops that do this, is that they limit how many books of a certain book. So for example, this Energon Universe one, right? I'm pretty sure they're going to probably limit it to 1 per person, right? Or, you could get 5 books, or you could, out of the whole batch, you could get 5 books. Because the idea is that they want more people to get it, right? So, oh, look at this. Super Saiyan. Hey, I'm down. So what you want to do is you want to be able to give people the opportunity to get as many as they can, but at the same time, you want to make sure that people are not getting it to go to eBay to resell it, because that's not the intention. Even though some of these books are going to be hot, Energon Universe is going to be one of those hot books. But I will tell you this much: it's a free comic book, guys. If it's a free comic book, don't pay for it before it comes out. That's it. That's my personal opinion. Don't pay for it before it comes out. All right. Also, there's a Turtles book coming out this week, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, that features Night Watcher and character there. Monster High, it's there. Conan Battle of the Black Stone. That sounds cool. I like the sound of that one. All right. So you got that one. You got Doctor Who #1 for those of you that are Doctor Who fans. He's getting he has a comic book. This is from Titan Comics, so that's gonna be cool. I know my wife's interested. My wife's been into Doctor Who lately, so she might actually want to read that one. Yeah, I feel you, Larry, man. So yeah, I feel there's a lot of people that don't have the access to an LCS to do it, but you know what? Check with online LCS to see if they be able to help you out with that. So there are a few that could do that they'll be able to like put it in. If you order your regular books, they'll probably add in some free comic books if you put it in the order. So you want to check with that. This is another one that I'm really excited for. Flash Gordon #1. Flash.
And that is a Jeremy Adams book, I think.
Jeremy Adams, yes, and it's over at Mad Cave Studios. You also have the Gotcha Men 0, which is really cool, and I know a good friend of mine, a good comic book artist, is going to be working on some pages of Gotcha Men. I'm not going to say whom, because I was sworn to secrecy, But he did, I do know that he's going to be working on Gotcha Men. So now that's been released, I do know he's working on Gotcha Men. So that's going to be cool.
Did he sign an NDA?
Did he sign? Well, he showed me some pages. And I'm not saying who he is either. So, but it's the word's out that Gotcha Men's out. So it's okay to talk about Gotcha Men. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Izzy Kirkman.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's like, meanwhile, my friend's like, I've been fired because of you. I don't think he has that much to worry about.
Gotcha.
Then we have another book. I'm trying to remember who's the company, but I don't remember the company. This is coming from Dying Inside #1. Then this is from 10 Ton Press called Tons of Strange. I put it up there because I think it's just a cool cover. Going back to those EC comics from back in the day. So that's another cool comic book. And then we got over at Boom Studios, The Worlds of James Titan IV. So you'll get some Erica Slaughter in there. I'm sure you get some House of Slaughter, some other books that he's written. Boombox 10th Anniversary Extravaganza #1. That's another book there. Over at Dark Horse, they're going to have a mashup between Hellboy and Stranger Things. So that should be cool. And they also have Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. But they're also adding to it Plants vs. Zombies #1. So that's going to be your kids' book from Dark Horse Comics. Then you have the Valiants. Valiant Comics always throws out a free comic book day. So that's going to be cool. Here's another one that I think is going to be a little bit of a sleeper. And that's going to be Marvel Fantagraphics presents the Atlas Comics Library. So it might be a little sleeper depending on what the book is. So you might want to check on that one because, Fantagraphics and Marvel working together to showcase some of the classic Atlas comics from back in the day. So that's actually pretty cool to check out. So check that one out. Then you also have Archie Hara presents the Cursed Library Prelude #1. And there's another kids Disney book, which is Disney's Encanto and Turning Red, The New Adventures. So those are books geared towards kids. And we have some manga books as well. Some manga books are coming out. And you got the Pokemon Adventures, Omega Ruby, Alpha, Sapphire, Splatoon 3. I don't know anything about Splatoon. And then you have One Piece Ace Story and Status Royale #1. And this is one that I think I'm going to pick up. And that's Street Fighter versus Final Fight, man. Throwback there. So that's going to be cool to pick up. And Far Cry Call the Herd is another free comic book. These are all books that are part of Free Comic Book Day, man. I'm so looking forward to that, dude. Looking forward to it. You know what I mean? It's definitely gonna be fun.
I'm at a limit of 5, so I'm gonna have to do some deciding and sit down and think of what I want to cross off the list and on the list. And
so one of the benefits I always have, like this year is gonna be a little different, but one of the benefits I have about Free Comic Book Day is because I could go. Last year and the year before that, I toured around different places.
Yes.
Right. So I went to different LCSs and I did footage. So you can find the footage. It's out there. I went to one LCS and I got my books from that LCS. Then I went to another LCS and I got my books from there. And I kept on doing it. I think I did like 5 locations, as well as a friend of mine who's a dealer, which I'm not going to name as well. I got an NDA on that one too. He gave me a stack of comic books. So, and there was a local library they were doing a convention, and they invited me to be part of the convention, in which I said to them, listen, I'll go stop by, but I can't stay because it's Free Comic Book Day. So they said, you know what? That's fine. We respect that. What we're going to do is we're going to save you a spot. If you show up for just like 2 or 3 hours, we'll give you the spot and you do whatever you want to do there. So I said, okay, if you want to do that, I'm fine with that. So what I ended up doing is, my friend, he gave me a stack. And I mean by stack, I mean like stacks of free comic books. And what I did is I brought them into the small library convention. I put them out. They were free for everybody, and everybody took them. And so, this year I can't do that because I'm actually going to Fan Expo, which I'm curious to see how they handle Free Comic Book Day. But one of the benefits I also have is I also bring my girls with me. So it's me and my 2 girls. There's 3 of us. Therefore, if we have a limit of 5, then we really have a
There's a
limit
limit
of
of 15.
15. So,
Steiner man.
yeah, exactly. So that's the cool thing about it, right? And just like Becker, his LCS saves one of every book for him, and VVS is 2 at his local, right? Oh, there you go. So yeah, so the idea of free comic book day is really take advantage. And you know what's more important? Not just the free comic books. A lot of the shops, they do these sales, in-house sales. Take advantage of the sales because you know what? A lot of these LCSs are on verge of closing down because they're just not getting the traction that they need. Money's not good like that. So
Right.
so you know, support your local LCS, and this is the best time to support them. All right, let's take a look at what's coming out this week as far as the regular comic books, and we're gonna go a rapid pace with this one, all right? Because we do have 12 from Marvel, and in Marvel they have Blood Hunt #1. Now, I only put out this one, but there is a red band version. All right, so there's gonna be 2 versions of Blood Hunt. There's the standard version so that the kids can read, and then there's a red band adult version that's gonna have all the blood.
Let's see. I am ordering the red band
Yeah,
and there's a negative space variant.
there's a negative space variant. Yeah,
With the old school blade on the front cover. Those are the 2 I'm picking up.
yeah. So that has the potential to be one of those big books of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there was a Blood Hunt comic that came out in New York Comic Con. It was one of the panel comics. I did pick that one up. That was there as well. That was the book that now is going to be hot. Oh, look at that old school blade with the green.
Right. That one I'm picking up along with the red band.
Cool. All right, another book that's out this week. Getting ready for the movie, Deadpool and Wolverine World War III, issue #1. And here's a book that I didn't know until I looked at the list today that I am super stoked for getting. And that is Get Fury. This is Marvel returning to a Max line. What makes this even more awesome is this is Nick Fury and Punisher.
Yes.
And Punisher is hunting Nick Fury in the Vietnam War. What makes it even more intriguing is it's Garth Ennis writing it. So you got Garth Ennis returning to Marvel, writing Punisher and Fury. And I love his stuff on Punisher and Fury. So this is one of those books that I guarantee we'll have when I pick up my books.
So between the red band options for Blood Hunt, there's also a Werewolf by Night book upcoming sometime in the future. That's a red band book. And the reintroduction of some form of Marvel Max. They're doing something.
That's what Get Fury is a Max book. So
they're doing as you said earlier when I said the Deadpool may not be the only R-rated MCU property going forward.
Yeah.
That this may be Marvel as a whole kind of making a little bit of a turn.
Yeah. The Max series is always great. There was great line. You know, so and then you have X-Men 34 that's here. This is actually a pretty cool cover for X-Men 34.
Yes.
Right? Then we have the Immortal Thor issue #10, Incredible Hulk 12, The Invincible Iron Man 18, Vengeance of Moon Knight #5. So what do you think about the Shroud?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the Shroud. I've been meaning to ever since, spoiler alert, ever since issue #4. I've been meaning to go and find out what's up with the Shroud. Cliff from Cliff on Comics, he's super excited about the Shroud actually being the Moon Knight, and so I'm wondering what it is that
Moon Knight light. That's what
I'm wondering what he knows that I don't know. What excites him about possibilities or whatever. Vengeance of the Moon Knight itself in Blood Hunt is really weird because the Shroud is one of these dark dimension holders or whatever, blah blah blah, and those type people are how the super vampires are going to get into Earth and whatnot for Blood Hunt. So but I'm not sure what to think of the Shroud himself. I don't know much about him.
Yeah, he's definitely a C-list character.
Yes.
He was part of the West Coast Avengers for a while, and his costume looks very much like Moon Knight, but with blue undertones. So
Yeah.
the fact that he ends up becoming, again, we said spoiler, he ends up becoming a Moon Knight's no real surprise. I want to know how long it's gonna last, because apparently they've been replacing a lot of characters. We got a new Punisher, we got a new Moon Knight, we got a couple of characters that's taking the mantle of other characters, which I'm starting to see there's a little trend going on here.
I don't know if the Shroud stays him. I don't know if the Shroud stays there for long. I personally wouldn't mind if they let Mark rest for a year or two and let me have more Hunter's Moon. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that. I assume Mark sometime in the future comes back like he always does.
Yeah. So the Avengers Joe, he just sent me a link of someone that's trying to sell the Energon universe. Well, they're selling it for like $250 plus $6 shipping.
I mean, if you don't have the local means, which I think a lot of people are stuck in that category, with more like you said, with more and more shops closing, a lot of people are stuck.
Don't say the Shroud's a C-list character. Cliff will hear you. One thing I'm not worried about is Cliff. All right. C-list is giving the term nicely. He's probably more of a D-list.
There is a Avengers solo book with Moon Knight and the Shroud, and then Hawkeye and somebody else that I have somewhere
Avengers,
around.
right? One of those solo Avengers.
Yeah, I have it around the house somewhere, and I guess I need to pick that up and read that and see what's in there.
Oh, Energon Universe is coming out with. I bet you that's a spoiler cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are, and I forgot that.
Happy birthday! Happy early birthday!
All right, and I ordered it just because, but they're on FOC last week or week before last. There was an Energon Universe free comic book day additional thing that you can order. I don't know if it's the same thing, if it's different cover or whatever. I ordered it because I'm a sucker. just give it. Just take my money. throw a transformer on it and take my money. They've got
money, please.
They've got the secret. They have found the key to my wallet. They don't know where the Energon is, Cobra Commander. They can't take you there.
Yep, exactly. The Shroud.
They may know.
Yeah, I have multiple copies of his first appearance. Sell.
Wait,
know what I mean?
wait. Do they? Beckerman may know. Do they cross paths in the West Coast Avengers?
I want to say yes.
Yeah, that's a good.
But you don't have a Flash. You're the ultimate. You're one of the most ultimate Moon Knight fans. You don't have a first appearance of the Shroud? I
do not.
Well,
like I said, I'm a late bloomer. I'm still working on going backwards.
We need to fix this. So look, he says yes. We're gonna have to fix this problem. You're gonna have to get the first appearance of the Shroud. It's not an expensive book to get.
If you're going to fix my problems, I hope you have time.
We'll do our best to try to fix your problem. How's that?
We'll fix that problem one at a time.
I don't pay anybody to be on the show, but we'll try to figure this out. All right, let's move on. We got Weapon X-Men issue number 3, Cable number 4, Spider-Woman number 7, and Star Wars Phantom Menace 25th anniversary special. Would you believe it's been 25 years since the Phantom Menace? My goodness, what has happened?
We have gotten gray and old and creaky.
Oh my goodness.
I remember going to see, and I'm for as casual as I am with X-Men, I am more casual with Star Wars. But I went to see Phantom Menace just because I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know who was what. I just went and watched it.
I went to see the Phantom Menace, and I just said, I went like this, is like, Oh,
Okay.
this is for kids. All right. Our next DC 5 titles, they don't, again, their focus of this week is going to be on Free Comic Book Day because all they're doing right now is they're giving. Oh, look, I forgot to change the titles in the bottom. That's how that messed up. I knew I was going to. We got annuals. So
Annuals.
you got
Yeah.
Nightwing annual, Harley Quinn annual, and a Flash annual is happening this week. Those are over at DC, and they have Superman House of Brainiac special number 1 and DC Spring Breakout issue number 1. So tomorrow, these books are the ones that are coming out. So there's no ongoing series coming out this week. It's only the annuals as well as these specials that are coming out. And you know what? Superman House of Brainiac is the one I'm interested in more than anything. But I'm not sure. I don't think he's on now, but I'm not even sure if this is reprinting the issues right now, but I don't think it is. So it's worth checking that out. But Spring Breakout is one.
That would be nice if they did one of those. DC has been doing these like 3-issue books for certain events that'll kind of catch you up real quick. They did that for not Flash War. What was the Flash event?
What?
The last one in Jeremy Adams' run.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But they did that for a couple of. They did that for Batgirls. They've been doing it. The Penguin. They did it for the Penguin.
Yeah.
That
might be. You never know.
Yeah. So I'll check it out tomorrow. So you got that coming out for DC, and over at Image, you got 9 titles at Image. There's some new books coming out from the Image this week. There's one called Bear Pirate Viking Queen. I don't know what to think about this book. All I know is you better have a bear, better have a pirate, better have a Viking, and somebody better be the queen. But the one book that I am interested in is The White Trees. That's Chip Zdarsky, and one of our good friends, Matt Wilson, is doing some of the work in some of the art in this book. So that's worth checking out. Matt Wilson's a good friend of the channel. He's a good friend of the community. He's did the cover for Comics Curing Cancer as well. So go check that out. The Whisper Queen, a Black Sand Tale, number 1. That's also coming out this week. So that's going to be interesting. And you got King Spawn, 533. It's coming out this week. Kaya 18. Packlist number 8. And What's the Furthest Place from Here, number 18. Crave issue number 6. And of course, talking about reprints, The Walking Dead Deluxe 88. So those are your books coming out for Image. Again, this is the 5th week of April. So, but it's really May 1st that these books come out. So IDW has 3, Dynamite has 3, Omnipress has 3, Boom 2, Dark Horse 2, Titan 2. Now, I think it has a lot to do with Free Comic Book Day, and they want the focus to be on the free comic books rather than ongoing books. But who knows? IDW has Sonic the Hedgehog, Fang the Hunter number 4, Star Trek, Son of Star Trek number. Like, why it's got to be the Sons of Star Trek? There's no women in this. I thought this is an advanced race.
No. Don't get canceled.
I'm just saying. Can it just be the children of Star Trek?
I don't know. Maybe
where the ladies at?
Maybe I don't know. I don't. Why were Super Sons only Super Sons?
You know what I'm saying? Super Daughters. That's the sequel. All right. Godzilla War for Humanity number 5 is also out for IDW. Over at Dynamite, another banger. Space Ghost number 1. Look at that Alex Ross cover. Beautiful piece. Can't wait to pick that one up. And there's also a variant of Space Ghost number 1 that is like, it's supposed to look like the old school Dell comics as well. So that's one that I'm interested in picking up as well. So got that one. Lilo and Stitch number 4, Darkwing Duck and Denga Duck issue number 5.
All 3 of those. We're getting all 3 of those. I'm a little kid.
Oh, yeah. You like your Disney books? Probably some of the ones identifies. Really, dude? Larry, you had to go there. You had to go there. All right. Over at Omnipress, you got Robo Force number 1, which sounds pretty interesting. Toxic Summer #1 and Cemetery Kids Don't Die issue #3. Then we have over at Boom Studios, you got Ranger Academy 7, Ghost Lord #10. Dark Horse has a new title called Lesser of the Lesser Gods #1, and Minor Threats, The Fastest Way Down. Interesting. Then we have over at Titans, The Savage Sword of Conan #2, and Guma, The Beginning of Her issue #6. And over at Sumerian, you got The Fog and Basic Instinct that's coming at Fog 3, Basic Instinct #4. Distillery has another new book called The Blood Brothers Mother #1. That sounds crazy. And Barbaric Born in Blood #1 over at Vault. Grim Fairy, this one I love. Grim Fairy Tales present 2024 May the 4th cosplay pinup special. Now that's capitalizing on the time frame, right?
Yes.
Massive had Zorro, Man of the Dead. People are loving this book. I know DJ, he's been enjoying it himself. And over at I'm on a roll today. Look at Larry. He's loving it. All right, and those are the books for this week. Wow, this has been one of my longer episodes, but it's been a blast.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. I feel like I'm spending more this week than your list says. I gotta go and see what never mind. Probably like 2 or 3 Blood Hunt books and Midnight Suns. That's what I missed. Midnight Suns, and there's probably another book somewhere that I've missed. But I feel like I'm spending way more than I saw on your list.
Oh, really? Oh boy.
I'm really old school, and so I get pen and paper before Wednesday, and I jot stuff down, and then I leave my list on my desk when I go to the store. And I'll always forget something before I leave.
Yeah,
that's the routine.
All right, so let's get into what we have to do for the rest of the day, right? And that is it's time now, because we want to call it a day. I'm gonna give away this mystery prize pack now. So we got a 10-issue mystery prize pack. I haven't even put it together, so I might curate it. So whoever wins it, you might get a curated pack. So if you win, just tell me some of the characters you like, and maybe I'll do something. But we're gonna be doing that giveaway. So with that giveaway, we always have to add on the With that said, since we talked about it, might as well, right? We talked about it earlier today. It's Gang Watch. Right? So earlier today, we talked about the different types of watches Kang was introduced. So we had the first appearance of Kang Swatch, Kang Rolex. What was the other one we had? Kang what?
Kang Rolex, Kang Swatch, and Kang Casio, or Casio Kang.
Casio Kang. So why not just throw in a Kang Watch, because that's going to be the fun part of today, right? That's going to be today's mystery prize giveaway. Keep in mind, we also are doing the May challenge. So if you are a channel member, there is a May challenge. You could be a channel member for just as low as $1, so you could be part of that giveaway. So we're going to be doing this giveaway here. Oh, look who just showed up. Hasn't spoken all day. TW, meet TJ. Shows up now out of nowhere, right? Now he's like, oh, I got to get in on this. Doesn't say a word in the show today, and he shows up, right?
Look at his other hashtag.
I know, I'm not putting that up. We got Squishy Potato in the house.
You know what they say? When you're in trouble, you call TW. That's what I'm saying.
TW? Oh my god. It's just fine.
It's fine.
Wait up. Hanging around with your king out. Dale Suspend, he's coming up with Kang Timex. So it looks like we got 12 people doing this. Unless anybody else wants to win a Kang watch. Who knows? They may be a watch in this giveaway. Oh, there you go. Beckerman's in there. Wait. In our defense, you do good prizes. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can't talk or I'll get into a fight because you're talking about cover artists for projects that aren't announced and all Again, they announced it, but I didn't say who. So we know Gotcha Man's coming. So that's the only thing I'm gonna tell you. That's what I talked about. I didn't say it. I didn't say anything else. I didn't sign any NDA. You know, I'm not Robert Kurtman. You know. So what do you say? Should we let it go? We got 23 watching, but there's 14 entries. Should we just let them do it? Should we run it?
Sure. I'm trying to avoid putting my name in there, so go ahead before I change my mind.
If you want to put it, man. I got no
Oh,
problem.
I didn't know I was allowed.
You were loud, man. It don't matter to me. Wellborn has hashtag Joe Court hashtag. Joe hashtag. There you go.
There we go.
Flash by night. I don't think it counted yours just yet. So I'm gonna give it a second to make sure it counts that. Guess that's 16 because it didn't look like it counted it. But anyway, let's see what comes up. Yeah, this I'm doing 10 comic books, so I'll curate them. So if you have a desire, now don't be telling me, hey, do you have I don't know, Shroud comic books? I don't think I'll be able to have that many.
Yeah, the first appearance of the Shroud. There we go.
Yeah, I don't think I have I don't think they made more than 5 Shroud comic books. So so it's gonna be a little hard to do that, right?
Shroud Spec.
These Shroud Spec. Let's get our Shroud Spec. All right, there's 16. We got the comic event that just came out. If he wins, he wants sci-fi porn. Yeah, I bet you do. All right. 17 now. We got 17 in the list. All right, we got it. Let's do this. Let's see. Who wins today's giveaway? Aggressively.
All right.
Congratulations. AR, you are today's winner. Woohoo. Let's see here. Let's maximize this thing so we can actually see what I could go because I did something funny. So, all right. Now he missed out. You see, this is what happens. So, aggressively relaxing. Let me know in DM me. Tell me what kind of books you're interested in, and I'll see if I could put together a nice little 10-box mystery box there for you. All right. But TJ, where can people find you, my man?
They can find me on YouTube, Flash by Night Comics, IG, Flash by Night Comics, TikTok, where I troll people, Flash by Night Comics.
You are in TikTok. I do see you on TikTok whenever you go on it.
It's so easy to plug something in like 3 minutes and throw it up. It's addictive.
Yeah. Yeah. So of course we got to say thank you, man. Thank you for everything. Thank you for such a cool day, man. It's been fun. There is something I do need to show you before I say thank you because, we didn't really talk a lot about him today because, we want to remember. But we also want to make sure you know what's Gambit thinking.
I'm looking through your mind's eye.
What is she mad about?
I know, right? But let's not forget. Look forward to Wednesday so we can find out what happens.
Mild, oh my God! What the? Mild, wow, mild, mild, oh my God! What the?
Look, your world champion was calling out the elite on Saturday, so we'll see if Swerve wants problems with the scapegoat.
We'll see, right? Until
Right.
next time, man. I just want to say thank you one more time, TJ. It's been a blast. So with that,
I think this is it. I think you're about to go home. Okay. Look, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I never said thank you. And you'll never have to.
Thank you. I guess I'll see you.
And we'll see you guys again until the next show. Don't forget the Izzy's Rat Pack Challenge. Become a member so you can be part of the challenge. I'll see you soon. Excelsior.